Does that have something to do with the Epstein list that came out?
Feels like
it's supposed to be coming out soon. A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
All right.
If that list comes out, I definitely will be popping some sort of bottle.
Well, late night host Jimmy Kimmel is now threatening a lawsuit against New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who made a prediction that the late night talk show host would appear on the list of Jeffrey Epstein's associates, which was just released today. We will do a follow-up story on this by getting into the details of that later. Now, Kimmel did not take the accusation lightly and even issued a fiery response to Aaron Rodgers that included a legal threat. So here's what he posted on social media, X to be exact. Dear a-hole, for the record, I've not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any list other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brained wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Your reckless words put my family in danger. Keep it up and we will debate the facts further in court. So, look, we don't know for sure why Aaron Rodgers decided to single out Jimmy Kimmel. They have not been friends. They've engaged in public spats, which we can get to in just a moment. But before we do, John, I am curious what you think about this because, the pedophile allegation gets thrown around a lot. And I think it's pretty sick when people defame others by accusing them of that. It's devastating to people's careers. And for someone like Jimmy Kimmel, he might have the name recognition, the fame, and the power to fight back against it. But I see all sorts of people, for political reasons, getting defamed as groomers, as pedophiles. I just find it so gross. And what it ends up doing is it makes people skeptical of real allegations when they come out.
Yeah, I would say I disagree with you with what you said earlier that we don't know why he mentioned Jimmy Kimmel. I'm pretty confident that it's just because Jimmy Kimmel has made fun of him. That's it, hurt his feelings. And so now he does what virtually every right winger's first instinct is to do, call the other person a pedophile. That's all it is. And the instinct is even stronger when you've surrounded yourself with a couple of your other bros or whatever in a setting like the Pat McAfee show. And so, yeah, he just throws out a pedophile accusation. And there's seemingly no evidence. Jimmy Kimmel's name is not mentioned in the list, which has been revealed. There's no mentions to him. Obviously, there was no evidence, there was no reason. But you can just throw things out in that MAGA anti-vax world, and it doesn't matter that it's never proven true. Nobody fact checks anything because nobody fundamentally cares about anything being real or not. They just like the idea that, oh, I don't like Tom Hanks, he's a pedophile. I don't like Chrissy Teigen, she's a pedophile. It doesn't matter if there's no evidence. It just feels good to say it. It feels good to elevate yourself to a position of false moral superiority. And so that's what they do. And they're reinforced in doing that by everyone that they associate with.
Yeah, and look, and to be fair, I think you're right about Aaron Rodgers specifically targeting Kimmel because of Kimmel making fun of him. For instance, after Rodgers discussed Epstein and UFOs, last year Kimmel mocked the New York Jets quarterback on his late night show, saying it might be time to revisit the concussion protocol, Aaron. Kimmel has called Rodgers a tinfoil hatter and joked about his skepticism to the COVID vaccine. The only thing worse than not getting vaccinated when you're in close proximity with other people is letting them think you're vaccinated when you're not, Kimmel said in 2021 after Rodgers tested positive for COVID despite saying he was immunized. It's basically the COVID equivalent of the condom fell off. There's one, yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, he's right. Aaron Rodgers at one point said that he was immunized, but he had not actually gotten the vaccine. He was doing homeopathic things. That's can you imagine if a coworker said that to you, implied that they were protected and were not? It's it is at the very least antisocial, and I think you can go way further than that.
I do want to note one other thing though, because I don't want to ignore the other evidence that people are throwing around the internet. I don't think that this is indicative of anything. I don't think that this incriminates Jimmy Kimmel in any way. But apparently people are passing around these images of Jimmy Kimmel that resurfaced from a clip from the TV show Extra. In the clip, Kimmel and Jeffrey Epstein's personal chef, a guy named Adam Perry Lang, hang out together, and then they also hang out with the host of the show, Renee Barge. Barge states that Kimmel and Lang are longtime friends, and the two explain that they met when Lang was a chef on Kimmel's show. Now, again, I don't think that's indicative of anything. Guilt by association, I think, is ridiculous. You need actual evidence that Jimmy Kimmel was like an associate of Epstein and was visiting that island that Epstein did his disgusting behavior in, and there's no evidence of that. So I want to address that, but also just note that it's not evidence of anything incriminating. Now today, the ESPN host Pat McAfee apologized to Jimmy Kimmel because of what Rogers said about him on McAfee's show. So let's see what he had to say.
I can see exactly why Jimmy Kimmel felt the way he felt, especially with his position. But I think Aaron was just trying to talk. Now, did it go too far? And a lot of people, Jimmy Kimmel certainly said that was the case. We and I immediately upon it happening, trying to be like, well, but that is Aaron and Jimmy. They've been
jousting a bit.
I don't know, So like, we obviously don't like the fact that we're associated with anything negative ever. We like our show to be an uplifting one, a happy one, a fun one, but it's because we talk and try to make light of everything. Some things, obviously, people get very pissed off about, especially when they're that serious allegations. So we apologize for being a part of it.
Look, dude doesn't want to deal with a lawsuit, so he had to apologize for it. I'm glad that he did, and I think it was super irresponsible for Rogers to make that kind of allegation with no evidence. John?
Yeah, look, I don't know much about Pat McAfee. I don't watch his show. He occasionally pops up on the WWE. That's the extent of my knowledge of him. I understand that he's just trying to distance himself from it, but he's also at the same time trying to draw this ridiculous equivalence between Jimmy Kimmel, a professional comedian, referencing the fact that Aaron Rodgers is anti-vax, which appears to be very much the truth, being on the same moral level as Aaron Rodgers, implying without any evidence whatsoever that Jimmy Kimmel is a literal pedophile who has theoretically raped children with Jeffrey Epstein. That is very much not the same thing.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.